Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we give no fucks on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers they pluck. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Adam Heath Avitable.
This is Dating Kinda Sucks, a podcast about dating, sex, and relationships. This week, we'll be talking about the hidden benefits of dating apps. Enjoy the show.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Please subscribe, turn on your notifications, leave a comment, leave a like, do all the things. We really appreciate you.
Yeah. And Adam, do you know what today is?
Happy anniversary, baby.
Baby, we have a 4-year-old child named Dating Kinda Sucks.
We do. I know. It's just basically what it is. Yeah, it's we accidentally realized that today, as we're recording on March 22nd, is our 4-year anniversary of starting Dating Kinda Sucks.
It happened on accident, and we're remembering, and then
just like a child,
our anniversary
happened on accident. We decided to keep it going, and here it is.
We kept it alive. Yeah,
we didn't abort it after the first couple of weeks. We're like, I guess it'll work. We'll just keep it going.
We had planned to abort it after the first couple of weeks, so that is true.
We're like, yeah, if it sucks, it's just it's it. But no, we kept it going, and now we just have to keep it going for another 14 years before it's free
until
to do
we die. I don't know.
Yes, basically. Yeah, 4 years. And you know what? I think this might be interesting for people who are new to listening, is to talk about where it came from, since it is our anniversary.
I guess, yeah. Because people always ask me how I met you.
Right.
And so that happened because I was at a blogging conference, and I had a blog at the time where my headline and everything was marketed as Dating Kinda Sucks.
Yeah, which is
that wasn't
great
like the URL. Yeah, it wasn't the URL of my website, but that was the focus that I had just shifted my blog to after a breakup. And I met you, and then you did a guest post on my blog about the male perspective on dating or something like that.
Yeah, like 10 tips or things like that about dating. And yeah, we didn't actually meet, though. That's the funny thing, is we met virtually.
You on stage.
I was on stage doing a writing workshop, and you were in the workshop, but we didn't actually encounter each other physically in any way.
I tweeted at you, and that was it.
Yeah, because one of my workshop things that I was doing, one of the exercises at the writing workshop, was to have people boil down like a paragraph into a 150 character tweet, just to show how you can edit things down. And so I told everybody to follow me on Twitter as well, because it was a great way to do that, and I would follow everyone back. Yeah, but so we were just kind of following each other on social media, and I did a guest post because I was like, I found your blog was funny, and I was like, oh yeah, this will be a fun thing to write for, and try to support someone who's starting a blog, and it's hard to grow blogs at this point, and so.
And that was 5 years. I want to say that was 5 years ago.
Oh yeah, that was that was in 2017, and then we just were talking. We would somehow ended up on Snapchat talking about bad dates we were having.
Fuck, it was Snapchat. I thought it was Instagram DMs, but no, it was Snapchat when I used Snapchat.
Yeah, because you posted a story about going on a bad date, and it was late at night, and I think you were a little tipsy, and I know I was drunk. And I messaged you, and I was like, oh, that sucks. And then I was like, you know what we should do? We should just start a podcast where we talk about dating.
And I was like, I've never met this guy. I don't even know what his voice sounds like. And all of the photos I have to go off of are his beard. And all I had was your Instagram. And your Instagram is very artistic.
Yeah, it was all my photography. And I didn't have a dyed beard or anything either at that point either. It was normal.
But you had a normal beard, but still, you had a look.
I had a look. And well, you knew what my voice sounded like because you did hear me at the workshop, but more, that was.
But I had never talked to you one-on-one. That's different. Yeah. That's different. Now I'm talking to this guy that obviously I've had email interactions with, but I'm going to start a podcast. I remember we had our first little phone call at my old apartment, and we're just talking and chatting like we don't really know each other, but this could be fine. This will be fine. And then,
that was basically, we scheduled a phone call and just to see if we could communicate in a normal way, and it was like, oh, this is great. Yeah, we actually can chat pretty easily. Like it felt very, very natural to talk. And so then we were like, all right, how do we do this? And let's
What
look
is a
up,
podcast?
let's Google how do you podcast, and then we started it, and that was it right there.
Yeah, and then we had my friend make the graphic for the podcast, and then we went from there.
Yeah, it's still our same graphic. We haven't.
I know we really
are
still rocking it. Yeah.
Maybe on our 5-year anniversary, we'll see how revamp it or something. I don't know at some point, but and here we are. So 5 seasons, 4 years, and 180.
I don't know. We have a stupid amount of episodes, and we archived the first 10 or so.
Yeah, because Sarah didn't like how they sounded anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
because that was before we invested literally anything in anything.
That's true, and we were still trying to figure out how to record because you were in Nashville because you had moved from Orlando to Nashville, and so we still didn't meet, by the way, for another 9 months.
That is true.
Until you were home for Christmas, back to Orlando for Christmas, and we finally went out to.
And you took me to a strip club.
Yeah, we met at Ale House, and then I took you to your first strip club.
And I gave a stripper $5 or something.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, this is like you actually were like, this is cool. Like you had a good time.
I liked it, yeah. And then that was it. Yeah.
So there we go. There's our origin story.
In the past,
yeah. And here we are, 4 years later, still going strong.
Strong. Are we still going strong?
Yeah, I mean we've both traveled a lot, done a lot of ups and downs. You're in a relationship now, obviously. It's been pretty crazy.
You're in another state, but
I'm in another state.
We'll be somewhere else soon. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the big news for me is starting in April, I'm finally on the road again. I'll be leaving the Suicide Shack. Sounds suicide, and
Adam, I swear to God, I was gonna let the Suicide Shack thing slide, but you had to go
there. And we'll be driving down to Florida for about a month, 4 to 6 weeks. It really kind of depends on how long I decide I want to stay there. I'm gonna because I've been working on the book. I've been getting quite a bit done, but I want to finish it up in Florida if possible. Try to have a first draft done by then. And so I'm gonna take my time driving down to Florida. I've got a new friend in Knoxville that I'm gonna visit, who is a TikTok friend.
TikToker?
Yeah. So we've been getting along and made plans to meet up. So I'm gonna go stay there for about a week and meet her, and that should be fun. And see some friends and take my time coming down to Florida, and then basically dive bars and strip clubs for a month and a half is essentially going to be my plan. I think
you're going to go out again since you
I'm actually going to go out. I haven't been going out, haven't been drinking, I haven't been doing anything, so I'm going to waste all of that positive things and and let Florida just corrupt me again completely. And so I'm looking forward to that. But if anybody does live anywhere between Florida and Vermont, let me know, because
anywhere on the East Coast, really.
Yeah, basically, because I'm going to I think I'm gonna stop somewhere around Newark. Maybe I refuse to drive more than 5 hours max per day. I'm like, why bother? And then maybe the Baltimore area potentially, and then I think Knoxville, although maybe Raleigh, and then Knoxville, and then down to Georgia, and then home. Well, not home. What was home?
Well, past home, yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to my ex from before the podcast, Caitlin, today, the one who just got married in Hawaii. She moved back to Orlando. She was in New York with her husband, which is weird to say. But she texted me and she said she was in Altamont, and I was like, oh, I miss my ale house. And she's like, oh, I'll go have a drink there for you, and I'll say hi to everybody, because she and I used to go there all the time. So she would say hi to everybody. So that was very cute, very sweet of her. So that's that's my.
What else is up?
What else is up? I got banned on TikTok. We recorded with Elizabeth, which, by the way, that was such a fun episode. If you haven't listened to last week's episode with Elizabeth Donaldson, I encourage you to go listen to it. She's so just great. I didn't know much about her until we started talking to her, and she's just engaging, and now I'm loving all of her social media stuff. But the day I was supposed to start promoting, I woke up and just TikTok is just like, your account has been permanently banned, and no reason. They didn't have any reasoning at all. So I appealed it, and by the end of the day, got a reply back saying, no, it is we're not going to reinstate it because of bullying and harassment.
But how recent was that?
What do you mean?
Like when they flagged you for bullying and harassment, I've gotten flags for that months ago. You know what I mean?
But I've got the occasional video that says that, and usually I appeal it and it gets restored.
Right.
Every now and then I appeal it, and it does not get restored because I might have gone a little overboard in insulting the shitty man that I was insulting. But I had nothing pending at the time. I had no violations at the time. So that was the weird thing, just in general for bullying and harassment. And so that's when I started a little bit of a campaign where, first of all, I wrote them a very strongly worded email that
Adam, no, I can't imagine you doing that.
Well, like, I think there was some things that I put in all caps. There was some bold in there that I might have insinuated that they protect hate groups and that they like Nazis. I might have done things like that. And
well, they keep those profiles live, though.
You know, and like there are TikToks of men joking about killing women, like literally serial killer type of things that are like quote unquote jokes, and they keep those up.
Your algorithm is fucking insane because I don't see any.
Oh, I don't see those myself, but people send them to me. That's the thing, is I never see any of the stuff on my algorithm. It's people DM me, hey, will you look at this video? Will you respond to this video? And I said, by the way, all of the accounts that I ever got flagged on for bullying and harassment, you eventually banned, which means how can I bully or harass somebody that was spouting hate speech? I was basically calling them out for you, and then I think I threatened a class action lawsuit. So eventually, then I asked everybody who saw on Instagram and on my other TikTok, because I have another one that's just Avitable, and I asked everybody to go appeal for me, to go fill out a report asking for me to be reinstated. And I know it must have been a couple hundred people that did that, because someone was telling me, yeah, it took me 3 weeks to get my account back, and I'm like, that's really frustrating. And
yours took what, 4 days?
Yeah, Friday night I got the rejection of my appeal. Monday morning I just woke up to people messaging me going, "Oh, you're back. You showed up on my For You page. You showed up on my main stream." And I was like, "I am?" I got no notice from TikTok whatsoever, no email, anything. Just my account was back. So there I am. But here's the weird thing, and I don't think I talked to you about this because we didn't talk this weekend, but it was weirdly depressing and kind of
not
like
having TikTok for a whole weekend.
It's not having it, because I have another account. It was just kind of almost like anxiety inducing to have this whole community that I've built that has, there's 93,000 people that follow me, and to have that taken away just because they have such a shitty reporting system was so like it affected me more than I expected. Like I wouldn't like I really
noticed just from your postings, but yeah, we didn't talk about it, but I could tell when you just kept posting like, help me save this. I'm like, fuck, he's probably really going through something, because you don't promote.
I was really
like
bothered by it. Yeah, it really bothered me, and I didn't realize it would, but it's a community that I've built. And someone was like, well, if you don't get your account back, then hopefully you'll be able to build your other one, your backup account to that. I was like, I'm not going to. Like, if I don't get my account back, I'm walking away from TikTok. Like, I'm not going to sit there and try to.
You spent what, 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years, and to just to have it like taken away because they have a fucking faulty reporting system that anybody can overload. So it's very frustrating. I'm glad to be back though, and I think
what was your first TikTok back?
It was it was a 3-minute video about how men's rights activists are whiners, and there's no such thing. Men's rights are not at risk in any way whatsoever. Yeah, I think that was. Yeah. That was it. Yeah, I've only done 2 since then. Yeah. My other one now is selling my new service that I'm selling, which I'm going to call the Breakup Man. Do you know what Cameo is?
So we've hired. Well, at my last job, we hired Drew Brees to do some shit on Cameo. Why does that name sound familiar? Football player for the Saints. Football player, but he did some, hey, insert company name, congratulations. It was so, I'm like, really? We picked Drew Brees of all people? But anyways, yeah, I've seen, or the Island Boys. You know who the Island Boys are, right? From TikTok. They do cameos. Island Boy. I don't
know. It's on your algorithm, but it's not the same thing.
Okay, well, you don't see, I don't see Island Boys either, but I've searched them. Anyways, I've seen those people on Cameo.
Okay, so Cameo, if you don't know what it is, it's just an app that allows anyone who has any level of following, like so from your A-list celebrity to your negative Z-list celebrity, yes, create an account where people can actually pay for personalized videos, and they can do whatever they want. Like there's a guy I love, Doug Benson, who does a movie podcast, and he has one where he'll basically say whatever you want and then do a bong rip in their honor. So he'd be like, happy birthday, and then do a bong rip, and that's his thing, and he charges like $100 for it or whatever. So I decided to create one where basically I'll help people break up with other people. Like I'll help women break up with men. If you don't know, if you want to tell your shitty first date that there's no second date, and you're afraid to tell them personally, you can just hire me. I will tell them in no uncertain terms whatever you need me to say. Like, hey, when you put your hand on my thigh during the date, yeah, that wasn't appropriate, and I'm not interested in a second date with you, Larry. I'll do whatever personalized video, and then you can send it to him, and he'll have exactly all the information he needs. Or if there's like a man in your life that like he doesn't understand male privilege and he only listens to other men, then you can hire me to explain it to him in small words so that his little smooth brain can understand it. And so yeah, that's what I decided. So I created a Cameo. And,
you would though. You fucking would.
I feel like it's kind of a neat thing, and a couple people had DM'd me and asked me like, you should do something like that. I was like, you should do a service where you help people, like help educate men or something like that. And so I was like, this might be kind of fun. So
how much do you charge? What's your pricing
$40
structure? Just for anything?
Yeah, for anything.
Okay,
that seems reasonable. I feel like $40, like it's because it'll be personalized to whatever they need, and I'll go above and beyond too. So it's not based on time, so it's just whatever if the I mean most videos are pretty short. Yeah, most videos I think are gonna be pretty short, but yeah, it doesn't really matter as far as I'll do pretty much whatever somebody wants. If they want me to say whatever they need to a guy, I will. So
well, you end it with "This is bacon."
Oh yes, absolutely. It's totally gonna end with "and this is bacon."
Okay.
So it'd be like, and Johnny, she's sorry she sucked your dick. She wishes she never had. You really need to wash your ass. And this is bacon, like, or whatever. I'm just coming up with scenarios.
On brand.
Yes. So that's my life right now. So you can figure it out by that. We go to Cameo, just search for Avitable, or it's cameo.com/Avitable. And if you really want to hire me to do anything, I mean, but I'll also do whatever you want. Like, there's some women who tell me that they love my voice. So if you just want me to read you a fucking bedtime story, I will do it. I mean, I'm a whore for the money. I'm about to hit the road again. Like I need to start paying bills again.
So you would prefer people use your service over ghosting? Say, hey, she was going to ghost you, but instead she paid for this service. Is that how you would tee that up?
Yeah, exactly. You should feel lucky. She was going to ghost you, but instead she's avitabling you. I was going to say avitaballing, but you couldn't say that, could you? Because that's a very different thing, avitaballing.
What is that?
That's that whole thing where I used to post a picture of my testicles dedicated for the
okay, that's some shit you made
holidays.
up.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I'm saying that was called avitaballing way back then, years ago.
You could rebrand it. Just saying. A rebrand. Who doesn't love a rebrand?
Speaking of avitaballing, what's been going on in your life?
Well, let's take a quick break and then we'll get back to that.
Sounds good.
Avitaballing. How does that segue into anything with balls? Just sex in general and my
sex in general. Yeah, let's talk about your sex life. Let's talk about what's going on in your life. We've explored mine.
Oh, my sex life. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I had a bacterial infection the other week, and TMI, but yeah, my pap smear came back abnormal, and they're like, oh, don't worry, it's just as common as having a yeast infection. But if you don't want itching or a bad smell, get this gel and just stick it up there for a week and it'll be good. So I originally
let's get back to question. Just stick it up there.
I'm going to explain.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to explain. So I went to the pharmacy and I was going to buy, the gel or whatever. And I was telling Master of None about it, blah, blah, blah. And they quote me how much it's going to be. Do you want to take a guess of how much this vaginal gel is for a really regular, like not an abnormal bacteria infection? Pretty common.
$50.
$75. $75 after insurance. So the guy tells me this poor young guy who's just, and I didn't realize the packaging just straight up said vaginal gel on the front of it. Cause I was like, maybe he doesn't know what I'm getting. Oh no, he knew. So he looks at me, he's like, well, it's $75 after your insurance. I was like, nah, I don't want it. So I drive off. I'm not going to get it. Call Master of None. And he's like, I guess you want an itchy vag for forever then. And he's like, do whatever you want. I was like, $75 is so fucking expensive. Who has that kind of fucking money to drop that on something that even my doctor's office was like, only get it if blah, blah, blah. So I wasn't even going to get it. I just kind of wanted to see how much it was going to be. So then I was like, well, I would like to like not be itchy down there for a while. And, you know, it like having sex prior to knowing that, like it was a little uncomfortable. So, but, like,
so wait, having sex wasn't like scratching the itch? Because I feel like you would just be like,
not really, no.
Like just emotion would just be like, oh yeah, oh that scratch that itch.
I wish. It was more like sometimes it was pleasurable and other times I'm like, this kind of is annoying. So I was like, you know, just for my sex life and also just making sure both of our sex lives are comfortable, I'm going to get the gel. So, you know, an hour after shopping and doing whatever, I go back to the fucking Walgreens, pull back in the line, and the guy's still there. I'm like, fuck, I look like such a jackass, you know, because I was like, I'm not paying for this. And then I come back and he's like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I want to get the gel or whatever. And he was like, oh, well, since you left, I was actually looking at discount codes to try to see if I could reduce the price. And I'm like, this motherfucker knew I was going to come back.
This guy really cared about your vagina.
He really cared about I gave him a 5-star review too. And I never do anything like that. I was like, I really appreciated this guy. So he knocked the price off $25. So it ended up being $50. And then I was able to actually get it covered by my insurance after I submitted the claim, which
that's good.
barely happens when I submit claims. But anyways, so I was just very happy. Got the gel. Anyways, so when I say stick it up there.
Yes.
Like okay, so let's go into the medical inserting it gel thing. So they give you this massive fucking tube that I did not even use in the 5 days I was using. Like I don't even think I used half of it. Anyways, they give you these applicators, which the applicators are about twice as long as a regular tampon.
Okay.
So think, I don't know.
That's long.
Like not a foot of an applicator. I don't know, a little less than that. But there's, you know, a tube part in the inside and you squeeze the gel into that applicator. And then you just like shove it up there and just like push it, just like you would push in a tampon. You just like push the gel up there and pull the applicator out and throw the applicator away.
For men, by the way, who might not know how that is, it's like a push-up pop. Do you remember those push-up pops? Basically. Yeah. So push-up pop in my pussy and then push it. I was going off the alliteration of that one. Yes.
And then it's almost like after he comes inside you that it runs a little bit. That's what was happening. And so of course, Master Nut just like, you got fucked by the gel, you know? So I'm just like, oh, it's leaking out of me. It's oozing out of me, whatever. Couldn't have sex for the 5 days that, you know.
Well, not vaginally.
Right. But it was the middle of the week. It was fine. Whatever. I think I sucked his dick a couple of times that week, but anyways, like I didn't want to risk anything. I definitely didn't want him to eat me out. And I didn't want him fingering, like it was not about me the 5 days that I was on this thing, because what happened was,
well, like, okay, let me just ask something. Like, have you ever like had like jelly, you know, you put in the fridge and then you take the lid off the jelly and then there's like stuff around the edge that is just like the jelly that just kind of like hardened in the fridge is kind of like, is that kind of what it like?
No, so there was no hard, because it's in this moist baby birthing environment that it was not getting, nothing was getting crusty up in me, but each night I'm inserting another tubeful, and it's not like all of it's coming out of me. So it's just there's just more and more gel just compiling into my, yes. Okay. You get the picture. So then when it was finally like, okay, 5 days, we're done, let's have sex, I realized, fuck, I have all of this gel. Like I was just like getting ready to have sex, shaving everything. I was like, fuck, I haven't had any of this come out of me. So I kind of like finger myself, and like, it was so fucking nasty. I'm going to spare you the details. It was so fucking nasty that even after 3 days after being done with the vaginal gel, I refused to have sex because it was so gross. And I did not want that shit getting on Master of None's dick because I was personally disgusted by it.
So the gel didn't like, I would have assumed that it absorbed through, like, just absorbed into you, like just over time and slowly absorb and dissipate. Like that's what I would have assumed. I would not assume that it would just collect there like just a sample.
Some of it probably dissipated. There were some parts that did not. And so I had to clean, I had to, you know, just wait it out. And yeah, it was something. So then I finally had sex over the weekend, and that was great and no discomfort or whatever, but it took a lot longer. Yeah, thank you.
What was it called? The infection is like, there's a specific name for this?
I think it's like bacteria vaginosis or something like that. It's pretty common, just like vaginal or yeast.
Right. Yeah,
that's literally when the office called me, they said, yeah, this is like the 6th person we've called today with this bacterial infection. It's more common than anything. And that's why your test showed abnormal. It's like, okay, cool. They're like, you don't have HPV. You're good. I'm like, okay, that's all I cared about. But yeah. So fun fucking times over here. I was going to do an Instagram story about it, but I have a lot of guys now, especially the people that I met in Colombia. They haven't seen this side of me being so open about sex and sucking dick or anything. And I did a test the waters thing in Colombia and it got very low ratings.
Very low ratings.
No one appreciated it when I made a joke about sucking dick. So I spared some people talking about it on IG.
Well, I guess it's good that you're back in Nashville for an extended period of time, because if you're only going to be back there for like a week, this would be so infuriating to come back, have this happen, and have like this period where you couldn't actually have sex with Master None before leaving again.
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily, I'm here for a while. So, until my next trip. We'll see.
How's that going? I've always like the thing is like you guys. It's great that your relationship is good, but I have to wonder how strong of a relationship you would have if just you were never allowed to travel. And I feel like not because of him. I think just because of you just going crazy.
Yeah, it would not work. And I think he realized that early on when we first met. And I said, I'm never home this much. I'm literally never home this much. I'm gone somewhere on the weekend. So me being stuck in the middle of a pandemic for months on end, that's not normal to me. And then when I think it was when I first did the road trip to South Dakota by myself that he realized, oh shit, she's going to go and she'll go alone. So,
because he was hesitant about you doing that too, wasn't he? I remember that now.
Well, yeah, because that was when we were our main fights were about COVID.
About COVID, yeah.
All those regulations, yeah.
Oh,
what a time!
What a time!
But yeah, it's actually interesting. So someone had messaged me on Instagram today, actually, about going through something similar where his girlfriend was going to be traveling for the next 6 months. And they've talked about it. He's going to visit her along the way, but he's trying to figure out, how to manage that relationship. And he's like, it actually seems like something you've been experiencing lately too. And I just told him, be supportive of your partner. It's a good thing for both of you. If you're open to it and if you trust them and don't have trust issues and you're not insecure, it's actually going to be great because you can be your own person while they're gone and they can be their own person and do what they enjoy. And then when you meet up, everything will be good. My only thing was if you're visiting your significant other while they're in another country and they've been there for a while, try not to be too clingy or I want to spend all my time with you because they've established a routine in this new city. That would be my only piece of advice.
That would be interesting. I do wonder about that though, because like if you do go visit someone in a foreign place, a new place or whatever, like temporarily, like you would kind of want to spend your time with them because you're there to see them.
Right. Yeah. So like the reason I say that is because there was someone in my group when I was in Colombia that her boyfriend came for a week, but she was still working. She was still doing all of her stuff. She was still going to all these events, but he wanted to spend the full week, just the two of them. And she's like, I have to work. I did take off time, but I also have my friends here. I also want to go to these events that he wasn't aware of. So she felt really conflicted where the past 3 weeks, she was doing all these things with the group. And then the last week, she's kind of stuck with him doing the things he wants to do with her. And she's like, it was fun, but it wasn't the same vibe as I've had. So I just I felt kind of weird about it, but
that makes sense.
That's because I think he was overly pushy about I want to spend time with you, or they were going to the fucking gym at 10:30 at night. And I turned to her, I was like, you haven't been to the gym this late ever in the almost month we've been here. She's like, I know he wants to go to the gym. I'm like, just fucking say you don't want to go. She's like, but he wants to spend time with me. I'm like, oh my God. So she just felt like she had to compromise on.
Well, that's that's like,
don't be like that.
I need you to go to the gym with me. That's kind of that's some clingy shit right there.
It was raining at 10:30 at night. I was like, you guys are fucking crazy. Why are you doing that? But no, go to sleep. But yeah. Traveling, big thing in my relationship, and it works for us. So.
Yes, because I think it's what you need. I don't know how I would do in a relationship overall right now. That's actually kind of how I feel. It's one of those weird things.
Even if someone traveled too?
If someone traveled as well, we just kind of met up occasionally. Yeah, then it will. But then I'm like, what's the point of having a relationship is how I would feel if you're only seeing them that rarely. If I was settled somewhere, maybe. But I kind of really like having my own space to such a degree that I don't know. But when I eventually settle somewhere, I guess we'll see how I feel about it at that point.
I don't see you settling for at least another year.
Probably not. No.
Think about it. Last summer is when that house got sold.
Yep.
And you had to leave, and it's almost been a year that you've been on the road. And
it'll be a year in like the end of May. So by then I'll be going up to Utah again to see my parents and kind of help my parents out a little bit, because my dad's slowly learning how to cook at 70 years old. And so
it sounds like you maybe wait, you can't.
No, I know how to cook.
You just don't.
Excuse me, I know how to cook very well.
The fuck? Okay, the fuck you had crackers with cheese and fucking mayonnaise on it. Get the hell out of here.
Just because I know how to cook, and I'm trying to eat all my groceries here before I leave, and I had crackers and cheese. I had a nice just like block of cheese, and
it's not a meal.
It is a meal. When you eat enough of it, it's a meal. That is funny. That is a funny thing. We did a survey because Sarah was like, "What the fuck are you eating?" And I'm like, "Cheese and crackers." And I put a little mayonnaise on it. Some people put mustard. Some people put horseradish, whatever. Like whatever you want to put
mayonnaise.
on it.
Mustard is fine. I don't know. Mayonnaise is just nasty to me.
You're wrong. But so we both posted similar things on our stories. We did a poll, and I asked, "Is cheese and crackers a meal?" And
you posted the photo of the crackers with the mayonnaise.
The same photo you did. We posted the same photo.
Right.
Yeah. And then I asked, "Is cheese and crackers a meal? Yes or no?" And I think I had something like 88% of people said yes, it's a meal. And you posted and you said, "Is this a meal?" I think,
and 72% of my followers said no.
Yeah, which is just so funny. And it just I think it's just a matter of who our followers are. It just shows so much. It's bizarre to me that they're so drastically different.
We knew that would happen, though.
I know, but it was funny that it was that different.
I did it just to shove it in your face, and then you're like, "Well, I'm going to do it too." And then I started seeing your results. I'm like, they're going to be the exact opposite. I know.
I figured. I don't know. I kind of thought it might even out over time, but no, it really didn't. And but no, I know how to cook. I used to cook once again when I was married. I used to cook the Thanksgiving dinner. Like I would cook everything, the entire thing. Even when I wasn't married, I would do it for friends and have a giant, Friendsgiving and stuff too. So I know how to cook. My father could barely boil water, but apparently he's slowly learning how to cook because my mother just can't do it right now. She's just too tired. So I want to go spend some time out there, cook for them, make sure, take care of them, and see, see what they need. They're getting older. And then after that,
of Utah.
Huh?
In the good state of Utah.
Yeah, that'll be the only downfall. But
you can go hiking. Yeah.
Oh, yes, my favorite thing to do in the world.
That's the only reason I would go to Utah, and you're going, and I'm so jealous that you don't want to hike.
I'll tell you what. When I'm there, I think the place I'll be staying is a 2-bedroom place. You can come fly out there and go hiking.
And I will really?
And I'll have a car, so I will either give you my car or I'll take you to hike. I will.
I might take you up on that fucking offer, honestly.
Yeah.
As long as we have separate bedrooms.
Yeah, I'm not sharing a fucking bedroom with you.
Me neither. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Separate bathrooms and bedrooms. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, it would have to be. That's the only way I would do that. But yeah, so but I'll be out there for a couple months, and then after that, I don't know where I'm going to go. I really haven't figured that part of my life out yet. I'm not going to worry about it till I get to till the summer.
Okay.
Who knows?
Exciting.
Yeah, maybe I've been really dreaming about getting on a freighter, just driving my car into a freighter and taking it over to Europe, and then just driving across Europe.
Why don't you just go to Central and South America? I'm just saying that because it was very cheap, and I mean, I don't know if I would take a car though. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would take a car. I mean, the car would be, because being able to have a car to drive down there would be really cool. But I think it's first of all, it's hot. It's like, and I don't like that part. But also, and this is
the person who lived in Florida. Okay.
This is also completely shallow, but like the type of like women that I generally find myself most attracted to are really pale.
Well, also I guess you speak enough Spanish, but not enough for a relationship.
I could probably get by.
For a relationship, though, you would want them to be fluent.
Well, that's what Google translates for. But I would be able to remember enough of it, I think. But so yes.
Mermaid too cool.
Come over too cool. Eat my ass.
Eat my ass. Yeah. Eat my whole ass.
My whole ass.
Yeah.
Cool, total cool.
But
so English speaking would be helpful, but also pale. And so like I feel like like I would love to just to spend time in Scotland and Ireland and the UK overall, and England and all that, and Norway and Finland. Like those would be cool places for me, because I feel like that's also where I would find women that I am the most attracted to, generally speaking.
You should go to the UK, honestly. We have a lot of listeners who
yeah, I know. And I've made
that's where you should go.
I know. I've made some TikTok friends in Scotland and I really want to go visit, and that would be fun. But we'll see what happens.
Well, I think this is time to talk about nothing else but going on a break.
Yes.
Adam's going to figure out his life and we'll be back after this short break.
Yep.
I was recently scrolling on Facebook, which I know I never use Facebook, but I was recently.
It's always funny just because I'll be like, I'll see like Sarah liked a post, and I'm like, what the hell? What's happening here? Sarah's on Facebook.
It was probably during that time I was scrolling on Facebook, and someone had posted like a fucking meme about, yeah, I hate Snapchat. It's the death of our generation. These apps have destroyed us as a civilization. And I saw that and couldn't help but think, I don't think so. I mean, it's all how you use the app. I mean, yes, you can use Snapchat to send dick pics and things like that. But before I stopped using Snapchat, which is a bad example on my end, but before I stopped using it, it was a fun way to share photos with friends and just be social. And I didn't have an issue with it. And then it got back to, oh, well, it's all how you use the app. And then I'm like, oh, dating apps. People say that's the death of dating. Well, it's all how you use the app. So I think there are benefits, whether we're talking Snapchat or Tinder, Bumble, all of the other dating apps out there, that they aren't all bad and they all have benefits. It's just how you use the app.
Yes. I think it's like someone saying that a hammer is bad because someone killed someone with a hammer, when you're like, oh, well, no, if you use it, you can also build a house with it. You know, it's like an app is a tool and it has a lot of different uses, a lot of different benefits, and it's just how you use it. And so learning to use it in the best possible way will minimize your frustration with it.
Yeah. I mean, you could download a dating app and say, I want to be on Tinder just for hookups, or I want to be on Tinder to promote this podcast, or you know what I mean? Like you've used dating apps more for promotional things than I have. I mean, it used to just be like a byline in my thing, but you still kept a profile just to promote.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny. So like the Snapchat thing, by the way, I've seen that too. And in fact, even in our Facebook group, someone was talking about it, and a lot of women were saying that they won't talk to men if they like want to move the conversation to Snapchat, because it means that they're immediately going to start sending dick pics. And of course, if they do, that's immediate disqualification.
But I think the move from dating app to Snapchat is fucking stupid. I agree. I agree. I don't think you need to move off the app. We've had this conversation before. But Snapchat as an app alone, not migrating from dating app to Snapchat, but just being on Snapchat is not bad.
No.
It's just another app. It's like being on fucking Instagram or TikTok. You could hate it or you could love it, but there are pros and cons to those specific social media apps.
Exactly. And people who hate on Snapchat, it's a fun app if you have people that you have. Like, I have a streak going with a friend that's like now on, like, we're almost on 3 years, you know. It's like, it's a like 900 streak, you know, because every day we send each other a goofy little hi, and that's it, you know. And then we communicate, we'll chat a little bit, and it can be fun. Now, I'm also obsessive with Snapchat because what people don't like is, oh, well, it can disappear, the chat can disappear at any time. And so you know, like, it only stays for 24 hours, or it stays until you look at it, then it disappears, and the pictures disappear. Well, the photos, they can disappear, but chat, I save. I'm obsessive, so like
you always did that. Actually, you always saved, and I thought that was so fucking weird. I'm like, why is this dude saving our conversation?
I save everything because I'm like, I want to be able to go back, and if I don't remember what we said or whatever, like, it's always nice to be able to go back. And also sometimes I would open the app and accidentally like close it again, or I would get like a phone call and I would miss what someone said, so I always try to save it. So I'm obsessive about that, and that's how I use it. But that's the thing. That's how I choose to use Snapchat, and I don't have a problem. And then we can apply that to any type of dating site. And I think that when people want to complain about dating apps, and I had a lot of women get mad at me on TikTok about this, because
wait, what was your topic? Just using dating apps in general? Someone
was saying, how can I meet men without dating apps? And I was like, try dating apps. You know, like, my answer was, give dating apps a try. And a lot of women were like, you know, you're being very, you know, you're not listening here to us saying that dating apps don't work for us. And I understand that there are a lot of negatives to dating apps. I understand, because
what's the alternative? Like, I think where I get frustrated, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I think where I get frustrated when people are like, yeah, but I don't want to use dating apps. Okay. 20 years ago, dating was just as shitty. You just had to spend more fucking time getting ready to meet those shitty people out in public or get connected from a friend of a friend to go on a blind date. That's the only difference. Dating still kind of sucked before dating apps too. And it still kind of sucks now. Like that plug. But you know what I mean? It's
well done.
It doesn't matter. Like the dating app thing doesn't fucking matter. And more people are actually finding success on the apps and using the apps for meaningful connections, whether that is for a first date or a hookup or whatever.
I agree. And I think why they were getting mad at me was because they felt like I was dismissing their perspectives on this, and that like people who felt like they were alternative were like, well, dating apps don't work for me. Someone who said they were plus size, well, dating apps don't work for me. And I was trying to not necessarily argue with them, but say, I really think that you just have to understand that what dating apps are doing are just giving you a much larger pool of people, which means, yes, there's going to be a larger percentage of shitty people that you're going to encounter. Right. But at the same time, you're also going to find whether there's only one person out there for you, it gives you a higher percentage of chance of finding that person.
Well, think about it. If you were to go to a singles mixer 20 years ago,
yes,
you could still walk out of that thing and go, mixers don't work for me. It's like the same fucking thing as a dating app. You're being exposed to more people than you would see if you just went on a random Tuesday night to the bar. And you know, everyone in this dating singles night is single, and it could still not work out with you because everyone's judging you based on your looks. It's the same fucking it's
the
really
the shallowness still exists in that, and I think that so before we get into the apps itself, let's just say, and I know we've done episodes on this too, but if you're trying to meet someone and you really don't want to use dating apps, you don't have to. But I suggest maybe trying to learn how to use them the best. It might give you some benefit. But if you really want to avoid it, just try meetups, things like that, things that are your common interests, and you might meet people who have common interests, and you might have a cute little meet cute with some other person who also have the same interest and goes to all the meetups, and you might meet somebody that way. Or statistically, you might not. But at least you can try those as well. But then supplement that with dating apps.
Yeah, you can't just do one or the other. Because the meetups, the problem with just doing meetups is you don't know that everyone in this meetup is single.
Right, exactly.
Or,
because they're not there to date. They're there to do their interests. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, you could meet really cool people. And yeah, if you want to make friends and be in the meetup and explore those hobbies, definitely go for that. But don't join for the intention of, I'm going to join this specific meetup regarding pottery to find the love of my life. That doesn't make any sense. Like logically, you should be going there to foster your skills at pottery, not to find the love of your life. If it happens, cool, but focus your intention on those things. Make friends, do a hobby.
Right.
That's like, yeah, you can't go in when you use a dating app. You set your intentions of, I'm going on this app to meet people to date.
Yeah.
So
what annoys me even more is when I see quote unquote dating coaches and relationship coaches tell people not to even try dating apps or dating sites or matchmakers. Did you know that's still a thing, by the way?
Well, I just watched Marvelous Miss Maisel, so I know that there are.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too. I love. Actually, by the way, I love the matchmaker mafia at Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. That was fucking amazing. But did you finish it?
I didn't. So.
Oh, you didn't. Okay, it's great though. Have you met the matchmaker mafia?
No, I haven't. So I don't know what the fuck.
Okay, well, wait till you get to that. You're gonna die. It's fantastic. But anyways, yes. But like, I didn't realize matchmakers were still a thing, but they are still apparently a thing, and I don't know how that works unless they have some type of computer database that they search for other people. It's basically someone using a dating app for you.
Exactly. And they're just siphoning through the bullshit that you would just experience on the app, because exactly right. They've interviewed people who have certain skills and hobbies and professions that would attract you, and they're just handpicking their top 5 picks for you. You're eventually on the dating app going to get to top 5 picks similar. You just have to go through those 100 500 million people on the dating apps in a specific area.
God, a million people. Yeah. It depends on
It depends.
Yeah. I used to have a bit that I would do on stage, and you said, if you're going to try dating apps, you have to try everything you can. And I say that, I'm newly single, so I'm trying everything possible. I'm on, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, eHarmony, OkCupid, JDate, Christian Mingle, Farmers Only, Black People Meet, eBay, Craigslist. I was like, I even put ads in the classified section in the newspaper. And then I would say that I always get replies from the classifieds. They were all from like women in their 70s, but like, a reply's a reply and a blowjob's a blowjob. So I really couldn't argue with that.
Oh my God, you fucking would. Well, I think that's another good point though. If you could be outside of the dating apps and meet people, they might not be your perfect age range. They might not be whatever. We've always been a huge advocate for dating apps because you could filter out a lot of the stuff yourself and waste less of your time in person meeting people.
Absolutely. And so and I know we don't want to get into, we've done episodes on this, and this could be a whole episode itself on how to use the apps properly, but we want to talk about maybe some of the benefits of it. But one thing to keep in mind with using the app and is that I'll say two things. One is, if it feels too good to be true, it is, which we talked about in our Tinder Swindler
I was going to say cough, cough, Tinder Swindler.
Yeah. And two, if what you're looking for is something serious and you see a profile that doesn't take it seriously, then don't swipe on them. So many people, and I'm trying very carefully not to do any blaming here of women, because I'm going to talk about women here in this, but like we'll swipe on men because they think they're attractive, just like men do with women as well. It happens both ways. And then be mad when they don't get a response or whatever. And I'm like, well, the person didn't have a bio. Why would you think that they're going to be worth your time at all? If they didn't put the effort into making a bio, they're not worth your time.
Yeah.
If you're looking to date. And so that kind of gets us into what are the numerous reasons that we can use dating apps for? The numerous ways.
So this one is just based on things that I love to do. Was when I traveled, meet people while traveling. And yeah, I did go on dates while I was in other cities, but to get a view of the city, to meet other people, and especially now that I've traveled with a group, I really like traveling in group settings now, that I would use the apps if I was single to just connect with, hey, I'm in town for a week or so, I'm not looking to date or whatever, but I'd love, just some just to even have a conversation with someone to get recommendations. That's helpful. Whether I meet up with them for a drink or not, that's a whole nother situation of timing. But I always like that from the aspect of traveling and not feeling like I'm alone when I was solo traveling.
Mm-hmm. And when I travel, it's been nice to occasionally connect with people, even if I sometimes decide to be a hermit and not go out, but to just have hey, what's good around here. Where's a good place to go meet up for a drink and meet them up just to say hi and have a friendly face. It's nice to have that connection with somebody sometimes, even if it's not going to go beyond that. So it can actually create a cool little group of friends you have all over. One time when I was on tour, with comedy, I would set my Tinder up, ahead of time to the city I was going to and start swiping. And when I would match with people, I was not trying to date them. I'd be like, hey, we have a show. We're going to be at this bar this night. Would love for you to come out. If you want tickets, let me know. I'll put 2 in your name just to try to promote. And it actually worked pretty well. I'd have people be like, oh, we love comedy. Yeah, I'll bring my girlfriends out to come see it. And, and then afterwards I'll buy you a drink. I'll be like, I will buy you a drink afterwards, or the drinks are on me when you come out or whatever. And that was fun. And then I actually met somebody that we've only met once now, but when I was in Greenville, we matched on Tinder, chatted for a bit, kind of fell off, got each other's numbers, kind of fell off. And then eventually Facebook was like, do you know this person? And I was like, I do. And we never talked. So I added her, and she's, now we're friends. And when I'm driving through, I'm going to stop in and see her. So I made a friend that was just, started off purely because of the dating apps.
I love that. Yeah, I think especially with travel, it's more enjoyable when you're making really cool connections, because then you associate those fun memories with other people there, whether it was just for one night meeting someone at a bar or just connecting with strangers over dinner. I always thought it was just, and it sounds cheesy, but like a really magical experience of like, fuck, before this, we did not know it. I had a moment in Mexico where it's like, I didn't know any of these people. And now we're all talking, drinking, spending the whole night together. Really, you know, like this is a memory that I'll have forever type of thing. And I don't know. I think life is mostly connections and the people in your life. And if you can look back and enjoy those moments while you're traveling, why not connect with them on a dating app and, you know, meet up, not for date, but just to connect.
Well, and I think also that if you're sitting here so focused on trying to be in a relationship, like so focused on this is what I really need in my life to be happy, well, you're already going to be unhappy. Like you're already doing life wrong. You should try to be focused on being happy being single. And if you're happy being single and you're on dating apps, to see who you encounter. It's not I must find somebody, but it's like, if I find somebody, that's great. And you make these connections can become friendships, and over time these friendships can become something too. That's another thing, is that you could make a connection that you might have made a year ago, and then it happens just over time. You guys start to grow close and you get to know each other in that non-shallow way that that you're looking for, just because you were open to the concept of maybe just becoming friends.
Or they introduce you to a friend of theirs because you're in the same town with their friends, so you should meet up, and then you meet someone who you actually, you know what I mean?
That too, yeah, that's actually a great point.
By closing yourself off and not taking some of those opportunities, you miss other things that could work out in the long run. I mean, that's life, but
now that being said, for women, you have to be very careful, because there are so many men that are complete fucking shitbird motherfuckers that you just want to be able to screen them out. And that is important, that if you are looking for just, to connect in any way, and they start bringing up sex, they start bringing up, well, we can always just hook up if you want. And that's not what you're looking for.
Meet up with them. Yeah.
Yes. Then unmatch them. Like don't keep them around as friends. They're not friends. Those are people that just want to bang you. And I think that's an important thing, is that you do still have to screen people out. But you can find some pretty valuable connections by using those, using your logic and common sense and, recognizing red flags.
And I would put that in your bio while you're traveling, though, of, hey, I'm in town, not looking for any, like, not looking for hookups or anything, just looking to meet cool people in this insert city,
Yes.
And then that would hopefully you'll weed out people who are like, because I hate it too, where it's like new to Nashville, or traveling in Nashville for this weekend to this weekend, looking for a good time, and you're like, fuck these people. So maybe you'll attract people that are willing to just meet up with a random stranger and have a good conversation.
Well, and a tip for men is that if you really genuinely just want sex, and women, but women, I think, have a much easier time just getting sex if they want it. So we'll talk about men here. If you genuinely, that's all you want, then just say that. Just be upfront in your bio. People who are going to roll their eyes at it are going to roll their eyes at it. But someone who hits you up and says, oh, you know what, that's all I'm looking for too. I just want something, no strings attached, just want to get laid. Then you found somebody who finds you honestly. Don't use the app to manipulate people. Don't use the app to lie. Don't try to fake what you're looking for.
But I just ended up fucking her instead. No, if you really just wanted to fuck, you should have just said, I'm looking to fuck, which is the importance of the bio, to explain what you're looking for or the type of person you are, and actually communicating what you're looking for early on in the conversation. Once you do match, that way you can weed them out further.
Exactly. And for the men that think that there's not women out there who are just looking to get laid, I'm telling you that you were very wrong. Traveling across the country, I have seen dozens, if not hundreds, of profiles of women who say, "Oh yeah, I'm ethically non-monogamous, or I'm just out of a relationship. I'm not looking for anything serious. I just want some casual fun." And they're genuine, real people. They're not bots. They're not fake. These are, you can tell, usually because their photos are natural photos, are normal, and that's there. And if they encounter somebody who's also just looking for that, that's great. And I think that's the way to look. I up here came across somebody where she was very aggressive, and my profile doesn't say anything like that. I'm just looking for someone to meet up to have a drink with, because that's all I don't really care much enough.
Sounds about right for your vibe right now, though.
Yeah, basically. And And she was like very aggressive, and you could tell that like if I was looking just to get laid, it would have happened very easily. But that it kind of turned me off because that's just not what I was looking for, and made it very clear in my bio. But there are people out there who are looking for whatever the same thing is that you're looking.
You just have to swipe right on them and communicate and
yes.
see. Don't just swipe right and then ask, "Hey, let's fuck," or "Hey," I mean,
right.
We've talked about communicating once matching, but you know what I mean? If you're looking for something, be open in your bio and then communicate that once you've matched with that person and see what happens from there.
And I think that's a very good point, is that men, if you do just want to get laid and you find somebody whose profile also says that, don't start the conversation out with a picture of your dick, or don't start the conversation with something sexual. Remember, these are still human beings you're talking to, and if you're just it's two human beings who are two independent adults deciding to have sex with each other. That's not just a thing you're going to stick your dick into. And if you treat someone like that, then you're a piece of shit.
Well, think about being at a bar. Two people could be at a bar with the same intention to bring someone home that night. They're not starting the conversation with, "I really want dick tonight. Nice to meet you." You know what I mean? That's not how the conversation's going. So why would you have that same?
He's not walking up and being like, "Hey, nice tits. You want to fuck?" Like, I mean, that's just like
drinking face. I
mean, yeah. and maybe the 1 in a million time that it actually works, it does not mean that you should do that.
Banging out now,
yeah. Basically. Don't try that. Okay, it's not something that works in almost every situation. And I think what you also have to realize using dating apps is that other people are using dating apps for a variety of purposes too. So don't get mad that people have different reasons than you do. And I mean, women use it to market their OnlyFans. And because it is not the women's fault. It's because society has created so many obstacles to anyone who does any type of sex work actually promoting their work. They got rid of Craigslist or Backpage. Craigslist took off everything. They like even Twitter and places like that. Instagram really, like, they shadow ban people, so they're limited in how they can advertise. And using a dating app to say, "Hey, this is what I offer. If you're interested," is valid. And I don't think that you should get mad at them for doing that.
Well, there are people on the app, specifically on the app, for their services.
Right.
So they're obviously on there for a reason. You're just not their target market. That's all.
Exactly. And so someone, like I said, if you're looking for a relationship and you come across someone who's looking just to casually date, don't be mad at them because they look for something different. You have to find people that are looking for the same thing. If you're looking just to hook up and et cetera.
Go on dates with people who want the same things as you, and they say that in your conversation after you've matched.
Yes.
The end.
And if their conversation starts throwing up red flags, then unmatch them.
Don't waste your fucking time. I know I touched on this earlier with traveling and meeting new people, and I've kind of touched on it with just meeting new people with networking though. But think about if you're like my example, and actually our example of being podcast hosts now for 4 years and connecting online, we were just social media friends. And I use social media and you use social media to make new friends. And I have people around the country that I connected with, and someone from Australia that I actually met in real life because I connected on Instagram. That you can do that on dating apps too, with things like Bumble BFF, or what's the other one? Bumble, what's the professional one?
Bumble Biz or something like that?
Yeah, Bumble Biz. Yeah. So, I mean, you can use it for that too. I know that's not like the main reason people use dating apps, but they do have those other features within Bumble.
Well, they do. And honestly, sometimes I've matched with someone and we had a good conversation and it was already, but it wasn't really going to connect and that was it. But they seemed really great. We started talking and then they ended up being a networking person for me, not because that's what I was actively trying to do, but because they were someone who I was like, oh, I'd like to have this person in my circle because like they seem like a cool person, someone that I like, not someone that I'm romantically interested, but someone that I'd be like, oh, this is a cool person to bounce ideas off of and chat with, etc. And over time, I mean, I built up a pretty good network of people, and there's a lot. I mean, we asked one time in the Facebook group, and Dating That Sucks, how many people in the group had matched with me on a dating app.
A lot, yeah.
And there was a lot. Like, this is the beginning. I think we only had like 500 people in there, and I swear to God, it had to be at least half of them, right? I think it was like, and now they're part of this thriving community just purely because of that. And I think that if they had been closed off to it, or if I had only been just looking to get laid and wasn't trying to like just also realize that people are valuable to know because they're human beings and everyone has their own experiences, then I would have, walked away without this great network of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's more about, and just in life in general, who you know, not what you know. So I wouldn't ever close off my network, even if something didn't really vibe well on a dating app from a dating perspective. That doesn't necessarily mean I don't like that person at all, or I wouldn't like them, like you mentioned, in my circle. Right. Even with what the fuck is his name? The gentleman. I still like, when I run into him, I'm like, oh, he's cool. And we ended up dating, and I'm just like, okay, that was a dating app connection. Or most people weren't great in Nashville, but you know what I mean?
Right. Like, well, that was the Nashville problem, I think, was part of that.
Or the every city problem. But there are some people that I've met through dating apps. So I'm like, that was a cool time, and never going to see them again. Or, now we just follow each other on social media and keep up with each other's lives, and we're cool, but that was it. I just, we'll see what happens. Like, if I was to run into someone in the future from meeting them on an app and we had a conversation or we connected more, that we already had that starting point on the dating app. So I'm not mad or ashamed that was the starting point.
Yeah, you never should be. And I think that it's always, sometimes it's kind of a fun little story to be like, oh yeah, look, this is how we actually, originally matched on a dating app, and now we're friends. And I have, I've got friends in Florida that started off as dating apps, and that was it. And then now we're just buddies, and they're, really cool. We share movie tips and like, oh, here's a good movie to see, or here's a good book. And it's great. I'm like, oh, I'm really glad this person's in my life. And I'm glad that I was open to it, even though nothing came from it. And I think that it is a matter of, if you are so stringent and just like, oh, I need to find a person, I need to be, then you're really gonna set yourself up for disappointment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say treat dating apps like a mixer. Just a mixer. You meet people that you vibe with, you meet people who you don't vibe with, and you leave that corner of the room, and then you just start finding other people in the middle of the floor. I don't know.
And if the app isn't good, then try other apps. Here's the thing. There are so many apps. So there's Tinder and Bumble, people know that one. Hinge, OkCupid. There's, things like eHarmony that you pay for, and Match, which I don't recommend. But then like OkCupid is good because OkCupid gives you the opportunity to write very detailed, long profiles that you can go to a lot of detail, and you can actually, you can screen people out really aggressively before you get to, make any contact with them, and that might allow you to make a better connection than like Tinder. Because, it might be better for someone who's more alternative, et cetera. Then there's apps like Field, F-E-E-L-D, which is a little more kink oriented. And then there's like Her, which is for women who love women. And so there's an app seriously for everybody. Like, I mean, literally Farmers Only is a real app, that is a real dating app.
I was going to say Foreplay, or
Foreplay.
But even that one, I know we had them on the show, but even that one is fun.
Yes.
You're just double dating. You're meeting people and just connecting, where you could go on that double date and it might not turn into love or romance or whatever, but you had a good time with two other people and your friend.
Yeah, no, I actually really wish that Foreplay had now expanded beyond, because I think when I get back to Orlando, that could be a fun app to use. And they're blowing up, by the way. I want to say, we had them on our podcast first, but now
that is true.
now they're on like they're on like Live with Ryan and Kelly or whatever.
Yeah, they just randomly mention them.
Yeah. Like, so they've been all over. So good job, Julie and Danielle. Like, you guys are badass, and I'm so like impressed with everything.
And that's not even sponsored. I know people were like, oh, it felt like an ad episode. I'm like, we were just cool with them. It wasn't an ad.
They're people that I want to go drink with, basically, is what it is. Like, if Sarah and I are ever in New York, then we're going to have to take, the two of us are meeting up with them. We're going on a four of us double date, basically, is what it'll be.
Even though that's just four people meeting up now.
Well, right, I know. That's all. That's fine. So I don't. I always hate telling people like, well, you're doing it wrong when it comes to the apps, but I feel like a sense of optimism and a sense of openness to what might happen has to be done. But I also know, and I feel like maybe we're understating the amount of shitty men out there.
That's true.
and that there are a lot of shitty men. There are a lot. But there are also good men out there looking for people. There are also good men out there on the dating apps who are putting effort in, who have a bio, who are trying to connect.
Who are feeling the same way that women feel.
Yes. And there are men out there who like big women. There are men out there who like alternative women. There are men out there who like, all types of women, women. And I think that, your person might be out there, but don't predicate all of your life and your use on dating apps to this goal of finding the one true one, because that is how you fail.
Go on the apps with a I don't give a fuck attitude.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if it works. Well, you should want to care, but like
a little bit,
but no intentions of just like, I don't, whatever, fuck it. I'm just going to talk to people and just like you would be at a mixer of fuck it. I don't like this person. So I don't care what these people think about me. I'm not so worried about my every sentence to another person. I'm just like balls out, just being me.
Yes.
Me with my balls out. Yep.
Sarah and her balls out. Sarah's swinging her that big dick around like always.
You know it.
And she's right. And like if you went to a mixer and you're like, well, if this mixer doesn't bring me a boyfriend or a husband, then I'm never going to a mixer again. People would tell you that you're crazy and maybe you're setting your expectations a little high.
Why are you putting on airs just to be like, oh, well, I'm at this mixer and I paid money and I deserve to meet someone here. What the fuck? No one wants to hang out with that person. So if you're that person on the app going, well, and I've been there, definitely been there of I'm fucking amazing. Fuck this person, and just being a bitch to a lot of people. You're not attracting anyone by being a bitch.
That's true.
If you put it in your profile, I'm not looking for this. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. The no's, people are swiping left on you. If you go with like, I'm a chill person, this is my vibe, you could attract more people, whether that's romantic or friendships, you're going to attract more people either way.
Putting the negative energy out there is going to get negative responses back. And there is a difference between lowering your expectations and lowering your standards. You can lower your expectations by going onto a dating app and realizing that whatever happens, and that your expectations are low. That doesn't mean you have to lower your standards when it comes to talking to people. You can still keep exacting standards on who you talk to and expect people are going to treat you like a human being, aren't going to be objectifying, aren't going to be marginalizing, aren't going to be shitty, aren't going to be waving red flags in your face. You can have those standards, but lower your expectations when it comes to dating apps and you're going to have a better experience.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add to that. It's just go in and no, shit's going to hit the fan, but I don't care because I'm me. I'm awesome. Whether I match with people or not, it's an experience. Shit's going to hit the fan. I mean, come on, you're going to match with some people who suck. That's the odds. And I hate that you've for so many years said it's a numbers game, but it is a numbers game. And it's, I kind of miss swiping on dating apps because it was a fun thing to do on a Thursday night with a glass of wine, though. It's also entertainment in itself, though, too.
I mean, I think you should just to put pictures of your feet up on a dating app and just use it purely to sell your OnlyFans, your foot fetish OnlyFans, and just swipe for that.
It's just too much work to do all that shit. I have other shit I need to do in my free time, not be on Tinder selling feet pics. I mean, if I was in that hustle mentality, then I would. But
yeah, I get it. Not all of us are, loaded and have this high.
I'm not saying I'm loaded. I'm saying I have a lot of fucking side projects right now, and I don't need another one right now.
Some of us have to set up cameos where we can just help women break up with shitty men. Okay, just to pay our bills.
Well, you don't have a 9 to 5 though, so
that's true.
I mean, if I didn't have a 9 to 5, I'd be hustling with feet pics too.
Yeah, I know you would. I know.
Well, biggest takeaway besides
the biggest takeaway,
lower expectations.
Yeah, I mean, lower expectations, but keep your standards high. I feel like that might be the biggest takeaway. But have fun with it. Like dating and dating apps should be fun. If you're not having a good time, if you're really just stressing every time you open the app, then don't open the apps. Take a break. It's okay to take a break, but this should be a fun thing. And we joke about it kind of sucks, but no, it should be kind of fun. Like, you should be like meeting people and having a good time. If you're not having a good time with it, then just start working. Take a break. Go be happy being single for a while. That's okay too.
Yeah. And I would say, like I mentioned earlier, the apps aren't bad. It's what you make of it.
Yep.
Just like with Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok, any other app, if you hate it, what are you doing on it?
Or
that
a hammer,
you hate it?
like I said.
Or a hammer. Yeah. Why?
You could use it to murder somebody. You know, you could stick it up your ass, or you can use it the way it's designed to be used and build a house with it. So go build a house.
Does that have a true base? Does that have a true base though? I don't know.
Well, I mean, you'd stick it up your ass with from the non-hammer end. Because if you did it for the hammer end, but if the hammer end was flared enough, I think it would stop it, so you'd be okay.
That was my question. Do you think the actual hammer head of the hammer is a strong enough base?
Yes.
Not that I'm going to give it a shot, because that's a really big entry point.
Yeah, and I definitely think a hammer, the head of a hammer, is a wide enough base. For wow, I can't believe we just talked about this, but we somehow did.
And if you're enjoying this podcast, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes and a follow on Spotify. And if you really love this hammer content, let us know.
Yes, let us know. Yeah, and Spotify allows you to rate podcasts now, so we'd love for you to give it a rating if you do have that option. You can watch us on YouTube at youtube.com/datingkindofsucks. Follow us on Instagram at datingkindofsucks, and email us at datingkindofsuckspodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions, if you have a topic idea, or anything like that.
And for as little as $5 a month, you can enjoy exclusive content. Adam and I do pre and post recordings of after and before each episode, that's pre and post, of us just riffing and being ourselves. So for as little as $5 a month, you can continue to support this podcast. And that is at patreon.com/DKS podcast.
Absolutely. And you can follow us on TikTok. I'm at Adam Heath on TikTok, and Sarah's at simply Sarah G_, which is also her Instagram. And if you do want to hire somebody to talk to the shitty men in your life, you can hire me on Cameo at cameo.com/Avitable.
If you would like him to read you a bedtime story, you can hire him on Cameo too.
Or talk dirty, whatever you want. Literally, like you give me a script.
You'll do that? You'll do a dirty talk. Oh, I think that's where you'll make more of your money.
That's where I'll make more. I should charge more
Honestly.
for that. Yeah, if you talk dirty. It'll be the new sex line. 1-800-Avitable.
Well, so many people listen to the podcast and they comment, I love his voice. And I'm like, well, fuck me, I'm chopped liver, but that's fine.
Well, I'm sorry, chopped liver. At any rate, this has been a fantastic episode. I really enjoyed talking about this topic. Next week, we have a fantastic conversation with a guest talking about hookup culture and among college students, which with a professor who wrote a whole paper on this and a whole book on it.
Look at us being prepared. We can already prep next week.
I know, it's amazing because we already recorded the episode, which is just
I
weird.
know. Ooh, yeah.
So definitely tune in for next week for our conversation with Dr. Aditi Paul, and we will be back with a brand new episode then.
Until next time.
Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we give no fucks on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers they pluck. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.